But look at the black people around you. We all different colors. Black walnut, burnt almond, chocolate mocha, pecan, vanilla, yellow, mellow, light, bright, and damn near white.
We come from the first people on the earth. You know, the first people on the earth were black people. We the first people had thought, right? We was the first one to say, where the am I?
Listen, this is for my people and my people only. I want you to understand that I'm sharing this because I love you and I see God in you. Just like God, I'm hating on your ways. It's time for us to snap out of it before we be snapped out of it. We think it's cool and fun to be out here acting a damn fool in front of the world. Talking about it's lit. If it's so lit, why we can't see what's going on right before our eyes? We see ourselves on social media, fighting, getting naked, looting, shooting, vandalizing, doing drugs, and just getting away with murder, literally. And it seems like nobody's doing nothing about it, ain't nobody paying attention. But I assure you, just as you're listening to the sound of my voice, that someone is listening and someone is paying attention and something is being done about it. It's called Don't Hang Him. Just give him enough rope, let him hang himself. These people's not playing with us. I seen a video talking about these young niggas got more guns than the police. Police don't come around here. Yeah, if that's the case, then they're calling the National Guards. They don't have more guns than the National Guards, nor more bullets, nor tanks with that technology, nor strategic and tactical training, none of that. So basically, with all this woofing, what you're doing is just dropping blood in the water for the sharks, you know. So they're gonna allow a small percentage of us to continue to show the world how we are, how we behave, like it's all of us. So when they decide to remedy the situation, they won't have no resistance. And whatever action they deem necessary to remedy the situation is gonna appear justified, well-deserved, and overdue, you know. I know y'all remember how they dealt with them insurgents. When people looked a little insurgent, you know, them insurgent characteristics. And y'all see right now how they getting down on the illegal immigrants. See how easily they getting rounded up and herded up out of here fast. You know? So don't think that they care about us killing each other, scaring our civilians, victimizing the innocent, and running our communities into the ground. Because as long as we continue to move like gangs, grow in numbers, brandish these weapons and terrorize our communities, we're gonna start catching RICOs. The gangs are gonna start being labeled as domestic terrorists and being dealt with as domestic terrorists. In accordance to this man with this pen, who was not scared to use it, I mean, he signed shit into law from the hip before it even get to the desk. And we ain't got nobody overseas, even though we've been crying for 400 years and trying to latch on to him, but we have nobody that we can call on for no A&A. You know, the only one we can call on is the Almighty. And we gotta do that in unison. So I had a vision that I got put in a meeting with President Donald Trump. I took notes from that vision so that I could remember, and I put them together so I could share with you. And it started like this. I said, first, I give glory to the Almighty Creator of the heavens and the earth and all therein. And to Mr. POTUS Trump, I congratulate you on your historic victory as the 47th President of the United States. I want to thank you for remembering God in your speeches and reminding people about common sense. Mr. POTUS Trump, my people die and are dying from lack of knowledge. My people are suffering. Not only are we dying from our own bullets, diseases, poison, and mental illnesses, our biggest obstacle is the lack of knowledge and the lack of unity. And I assure you that knowledge and unity are the segue for peace and prosperity. My people are an ignorant people because of the lack of knowledge. Ignorant not only means not knowing. Ignorant means unknowledgeable, meaning incapable of gaining knowledge. How is it that one is incapable of gaining knowledge when knowledge is readily available? Well, one reason is that the true knowledge of us is thoroughly hidden from us. And another reason is just as the root word of ignorant suggests, we ignore. Even when knowledge is present, we ignore it. So therefore, we remain ignorant.
What does the word ignorant in comparison? Ignorant. What does the word ignorant in comparison? Ignorance.
Yo, I'm at McDonald's and they just called me a nigga.
And my people are divided people. And we're divided into so many people because our ignorance and our indoctrination has us so easily distracted by the superficiality of statuses. This device directive of delusion, status, it puts the skinny against the fat, the short against the tall, smart against the stupid, rich against the poor, Christian against the Muslim, the religious against the atheist, the folks against the people, light skin against the dark skin, the young against the old, the men against the women, and so many other deceptive devices of division and difference. But the one single thing that my people share in common, undeniably, regardless of status and whether we like it or not, it is that in the eyes of the rest of America and across the earth, regardless of any imaginary difference in status, we are seen as niggas.
Fucking nigger.
Get off, nigger! Nigger! Get off! That's a
Me, baby.
nigger.
That's cool, baby. Hobby.
Bitch, that fucking nigga ass fucking hoe ass nigga.
Called you a nigga, man.
Hey, this white man just called me a nigga in Augusta, Georgia at the Waffle House. Why are you calling me that?
You know what? That's what I'm saying. They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass. Yo soy cubano. Cuando hablan de mierda de negros, te hablan de mí también. So when you talk about black folks in Spanish, a bunch of them understand what the fuck you're saying. No, y'all was talking that nigga shit Spanish. Yo soy cubano, yo entiendo. Cuando hablas esa mierda de negros, te hablan de mí también.
We are seen as niggas. And it's even more obvious today than ever with the way they're taking down our millionaires and our billionaires. And they just took down, two more the other day, Big U and Yellow Beezy. You know, they're taking all the big dogs and turning them into miniatures. You know, so sad that their pockets are so full, yet their souls are so empty. And this too is because of the lack of knowledge and the lack of unity. And we witnessed the way the Marcy overseers murdered Robert Brooks and tried to conceal it, not knowing that the body cams were still recording the entire incident. Google it, Robert Brooks. And I recently lost a friend that was killed by the Crook County Sheriff's Squad. And so far, there's been no transparency in that tragedy, you know? So, with all these red flags, and my people are still stuck on the word nigga. It's taboo. Don't say it. Say the N-word instead. I've had some of your agents that you've appointed and positioned as our so-called leaders carry the N-word on a coffin, crucify it, burn it, bury it. And on the other hand, we've had those that use it as a term of endearment. But like I said before, what the rest of the world sees is a bunch of niggas. Some niggas that love the word, some niggas that hate the word. So love it or hate it, it's just a bunch of niggas divided on the usage of the word nigga. A word that's been ingrained in the minds of all of humanity for the last 400 years. It came into existence when we as a people came into existence. God don't make mistakes. And like everything else that we connected with or we come in contact with, it becomes iconic. It's cultural. It's integral to our culture. It's prey for the culture vultures. It has its place set in time for the rest of eternity. I say all that to say this. In that vision, I said to President Trump, I said, before you run out of ink, will you use the power of that pen to defang and remove the poisonous venom from that word and replace it with the antidote of esteem, integrity, endearment, identity, and oneness. I said it's the least you can do to help in this identity crisis because you haven't been too successful in identifying us in the past. You've called us Negroes, called us coloreds, then you named us after a color. You called us black. The most negatively defined of all the colors. And then you blackened us and called us Black Americans. Then you named us after a hairstyle, called us Afro-Americans. Then you called us Black African Americans, you know? And I'm kind of OCD with acronyms. So when I hear Black African Americans, I'm thinking, bah, you know? The utterance of the dumbest, most docile, most selfless animal on God's green earth. And that's what we call ourselves. That's our mantra, Black African America. And to be honest, we have no brotherhood with Africa and no true equality in America. The Africans that come over here, they don't see us as brothers, and they'll correct you, you know? If you're like, damn, my nigga, that's a sharp ass ride you got there. You say, no, I'm not a nigga. I'm an African. I'm not from here, you know? So that's the way other people differentiate the melanated people. They say the ones that's from over here are niggas. They don't have that problem elsewhere.
And to clear the air, okay? I didn't know nothing called African American until I came to America. Before that, when we were in Egypt, okay? When we were in Egypt, when we did our papers, when we was about to come to America, yes, they take you through sessions of understanding America and American life and the inhabitants of America, okay? Back home, we just know the Red Indians. We just know the Red Indians, okay? And then we know the white people of America. That's it. 2 races, okay? But when you're going through the sessions of coming to America, especially from Egypt, they tell you later on, they put you in a room and you have to watch a video and then they introduce you the African American race, okay? Don't come blaming us Africans for how they portray you guys, okay? As soon as you learn about African American race, at the same time you learn about 911, okay? This is the white man. This is how they train people who come to America. That's when you're shocked about this unknown race that they talked about. But they don't tell people, oh, these are from slaves, slavery, all that stuff, okay? They just say these people, they steal. They show people videos. Be mad at the white man. Any African can tell you when you're going through process of coming to America, they show you a video. They show you a video of a black man with white t-shirt, blue jeans, walking around the neighborhood, and as soon as the black man keep walking.
And the American justice system gives us a glimpse of its distribution of equality by its arrest and wrongful conviction rates per capita. So what I want us to do is get into the mind of a man that wants to turn a negative into a positive. It weighs so heavy on his heart and on his mind that he took time out of his life to figure a way to turn hurt into healing. He figured out the only way to make this ugly word beautiful is to redefine it. And he knew that ignorance was the cancer that kills growth and development in communities. So he emphasized on it. And he said, never ignorant. Getting goals accomplished. And it works. And I added an addendum to it. I said, together rebuilding individually benefits everyone. And that was the birth of what I affectionately like to call us, the nigger tribe, finally united. And that was also the subsequent death and deactivation of the Willie Lynch letter. But to do this, we have to define the word nigger. And my definition of nigger formally is Donapowsa Tietat. Donapowsa Tietats. Can you say it? Donapowsa Tietats. And Donapowsa Tietats is the uniting of 2 people into 1 people. The complete definition lies within the acronym itself of Donapowsa Tietats. And that's descendants of native Amarucan prisoner of war slaves and the European, African, transatlantic human trafficking survivors. In establishing that identity, we become 1 people, regardless of status. You like it or not. Oprah has made many sacrifices in her career to become world famous and wealthy beyond belief. Billionaire friends, inspirational, and she's getting far away from us as possible. But she's a nigger. And Obama, he's a household name. He acts like the perfect father figure, husband, and role model. He's master swag. He shoot ball. The sisters love him. He's cool with the brothers. But what the rapper Kenny say? He not a nigger. So in effect, we still waiting on our first Donapowsa Tietats president from the United States of America, from the nigger tribe. And I ain't gonna hold you, I would have voted for Kanye for that one reason alone. And I'm so glad he didn't run, especially since he done manifested himself by riding that wave, that false mainstream with the true black Hebrews narrative. Because it's not taught right, with them half-truths, no substance, no salvation, and mostly just hateful rhetoric. And the way he be moving with his, whatever she is to him, it's just not godly, And now he's strategically throwing jabs at his peers in the industry for whatever reason. I guess millionaires can't find nothing better to do with all that extra money and all that extra time. And that's why the prophet said that some people are so poor that the only thing that they have is money. But anyway, by establishing this identity, we find that we are lost. The lost people of the books. Lost because we don't know where we are, even as we walk on this blood-soaked, sacred, and holy ground. We still look abroad for our home. And we lost in our minds because we don't know who we are. Also looking abroad for us. We attach ourselves to foreign cultures, traditions, cults, and fraternities with this burning desire to just be part of something, anything. We try to latch on like abandoned child seeking a family, to be adopted. You know, you see us grab on the foreign religions. Next thing you know, we're speaking in foreign words and praying in foreign. Then our appearance become foreign, whether it's shaving our heads and growing our beards or shaving our face and growing our hair. And then our attire changes. We start dressing in foreign garb. And then we begin to recognize foreign feasts, festivities, and days of observance. It's wild. Because the scripture clearly tells us that the true Jew is not the Jew outwardly. The true Jew is the Jew inwardly. And that has several meanings. You know, so don't get it twisted. I know that we all from the African diaspora, but my point is that we are descendants of the first to migrate and settle on this land. So in establishing that we are Donapowsa, we learn that we are the lost Hebrews, indigenous to this land. We are America's blackened, dross-covered jewels. Now we can free ourselves from the divisive teachers of black religions, the false teachings of African American studies and black history class, and we can learn to dig up and research the hidden Holocaust, plural, the underground Holocaust buried beneath our feet, and the watery Holocaust submerged at the bottom of the Atlantic. All due to the continental invasion, massive genocide, and the devastating conquest of this land. And more importantly, we learned that the overwhelming majority of those that were enslaved did not arrive by boat. They were already here. And by establishing this identity, we must put some respect on the name Donapowsa and the nigger tribe. The same way, you gotta be respectful and watch what you say when you're speaking on the Jews. You gotta be respectful and watch what you say when you're speaking on the nigger tribe, Donapowsa. We must contact Webster and Google and have them update their definitions on their platforms to the polar opposite, the same way you did for the word gay. Gay used to mean happy. You allowed gay to be changed. Now gay means sodomite. You took a beautiful word and you made it ugly in the eyes of God. Now we have one less beautiful word in the world. One less beautiful word that we can speak beautiful things into existence with, you know? In establishing this identity, we must understand that the nigger tribe is dying at a rate that makes us an endangered species. So we need protection as an endangered species.
Why she crashing out on babies? Why was this fucking crashing out on a hydroflask is crazy work, man. Oh no, babies. Bro, tell the guy, chill the fuck out. Damn, nigga. Oh, yo, damn. Nigga, knock him out. Oh, my shit,
No, I just hate niggers. Fuck you, niggers. I hate niggers.
It's okay, we're calling the cops on you
I would
because you're disturbing
kill
everyone in
a
there.
nigger, but the law says I can't kill the niggers. If the law didn't say that I couldn't kill the niggers, they'd all be dead.
We demand justice. He assaulted a woman and called her a nigger. We demand justice. We demand justice. There's no way he can assault a black female and call her a nigger. We need.
Why are you here?
Because this is a no nigger zone.
Taking off. You got cameras and shit? Fuck you, niggers. There, I said it. Fuck you, niggers. Do what you gotta do, right? Yeah. Here, the police just do what they want to do. Shoot the niggers.
And we need hate crime laws that are aggressively enforced the same way you aggressively enforce the laws protecting the sodomites. And that goes for black African American on nigger tribe hate crimes also. And in establishing this identity, it is also fair that we are federally recognized as a tribe. And in establishing this identity, we must calculate fair reparations for Datia Tots, the same way that you did for the mainstream Holocaust survivors. And in establishing this identity, it's also fair that we agree on a parcel of land for Donapowsa so that we can flourish with our farmers, our builders, our engineers, our teachers, and our doctors, the same way you did for the Tianos that you mixed with and chose to declare as Native Americans. We were promised 40 acres and a mule to get us started, but we never received it. And 40 acres and a mule times each of us, not even counting interest, equals a semi-furnished reservation. And in doing this, I think it's fair that you bring Europe and Africa up on charges as co-conspirators and accessories for their parts in those forgotten crimes against humanity and have them contribute to the restitution to restore what they hidden-handedly helped to destroy. And in doing this, we want to raise our own flag alongside the flag of the United States of America, absolutely adhering to the flag code and etiquette guidelines, the same way you allowed the nation of Sodom and Gomorrah to hijack the symbol of God's covenant and fly it as a flag, blamelessly and shamelessly alongside the U.S. flag and in public schools and other public places, despite it being a religious flag, spewing blatant blasphemy. As we declare ourselves one nation under God, and we're still expecting God to continue to bless America with grace and mercy. Then I said, Mr. President, do you think that this is doable? And he said, I guess we'll have to wait and see how strongly the rest of the niggas that don't like the word will choose to stand on that position. That's it. That's the vision.
A responsibility and duty to provide the Brooks family, their loved ones, and all New Yorkers with transparency and accountability.
We've been reporting on this story for days, and now we are seeing what happened inside the Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County. News at NBC investigative reporter Jennifer Leakey reviewed all of the videos and was on the briefing with the Attorney General today. So, Jen, walk us through what happened here. Well, Nikki, it's important to keep in mind here that none of these corrections officers actually activated their body cameras, which they are supposed to do when interacting with inmates. The reason there is any video of this at all is because some of the cameras were in standby mode, so they were recording video but not audio. Still, I just want to warn you that for most people, what you are going to see is going to be very tough to watch. The footage starts as Robert Brooks, born and raised here in the Rochester area, is being brought into the Marcy Correctional Facility. Right from the start, he's being carried by his arms and legs. We've pieced together 4 videos from different body cameras to try and give you an idea of what happened from there. Within seconds of being placed on a table in the infirmary, one corrections officer holds Brooks by the neck, while another starts punching him in the face, and a third punches him twice in the stomach. He falls backwards, but is then pulled back up by the neck and jostled around before one of the corrections officers, who has already thrown some punches, hits him a few times with one of his shoes that had fallen off. We can't hear the conversation, but about 10 seconds later, this officer comes back and kicks him directly in the stomach, using his leg to continue to hold him down. While that's happening, another officer gestures to a colleague to step away before punching Brooks 4 times in the side. In the seconds that follow, there isn't a clear shot of how Brooks' upper body is being restrained, but the same CO that had his leg up and on him punches him 3 times as his body is turned. After putting leg restraints on Brooks, who lies on the table motionless for about 20 seconds, they pull him back up to a seated position. You can see Robert Brooks is bloodied and panting. And then, another blow. That same corrections officer steps away to put gloves on, before returning and grabbing Brooks by the collar with the help of another CO, picking him up off the ground and bringing him to the corner of the room. Much of the video of what happens in that corner is blocked by the sheer number of people in the room watching it happen. But one of the body cameras captured this moment where Brooks is yet again hoisted off the ground by his collar. When the cameras pick back up, we can see Robert Brooks lying back on the exam table, motionless. One of the COs that was most physical with him, rubbing his sternum, while others remove his pants. At that point, medical personnel enter the room. Robert Brooks was pronounced dead at the hospital the next day. A preliminary report by the medical examiner ruled his cause of death was asphyxia due to compression.
Your brother, I heard you say a racial epithet. No, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, you didn't mean it like
that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court for having said that. And you don't speak those words in here. And that word particularly, you don't use that word. I'm giving you 60 days for having used that word. Hold you in contempt right now for having done it in this courtroom. It's disrespectful. Don't ever do it again.